Whoa. Peace, beloved, peace. Hope you like that song. That was Swimmer Sounds, Wormhole. Because, you know, we're a bunch of Y3K technocrat degens. I'm not a technocrat. Peace, beloved, peace. It's your homie, Young Content, the unofficial sensei of the culture, mastering youthfulness, contentment, and NFTs. You are in the dojo. You already know our favorite sound. Cue it. Yeah. I just fucking chopped 80 planks of wood right there in half with no bruises. How are you guys doing? How's your mind? How's your energy? We are gonna get the chat rolling. We got Brandon Beach sending cherries. Where's the cherry pie? Hopefully you're cooking a cherry pie this weekend. It's gonna be a good weekend according to the stars. Jupiter hits me. I'm just joking. Just cook your cherry pies if you can. Ninjas are here. Don't worry. Bryan Brinkman is safe. The ninjas captured him. He went willingly. He went willingly, and he is in the dojo. He entered this shit like Liu Kang. We're gonna get to him in just a short second. I know you guys been waiting for the music video for Dojo to drop. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I am being patient. It should drop any day now. We should go viral off of that. Dojo teas are going crazy. They're free for people who are in the dojo. So make sure you get your teas. Only one per ninja. What else? Shout out to the April Union family. Shout out to God Hates NFTs. I'm fucking liking that project right now. I'm trying to degen with that. But this is about, this is about Bryan. All right. This is the episode 103. God dang, we made it.
Okay.
103rd episode. I couldn't be more thankful. We're gonna reach the 200 episode mark. We in this piece. Typing it in. Boom. Chat is active. Tell grandma we're live. Without further ado, let me introduce you to the homie. I met him in New York City. He's a legend. And let him have the stage. God damn it. Bryan Brinkman.
Hello.
What up, dude?
How are you? Thanks for having me. I love that intro, by the way.
Dude, you are a walking intro. You are a character. you look like you belong on the Adult Swim team. What's going on with you, Bryan Brinkman?
I'm doing good. I want to see this ninja T-shirt. It sounds awesome.
It's a vibe.
I need to get one of those.
It's a vibe. It has a metal. It has a ninja slicing a bear in the head with a katana. Super dope.
Awesome.
Dude, how's your mind? How's your energy, dude?
Good. I think it's getting back. We saw each other at NFT NYC. Hopefully, I didn't get you sick. It turns out I had COVID.
Were you were you the main contagion?
I was one of many.
Damn.
Yeah, I think that kind of derailed me for a week. And when you're kind of stuck, isolated, that makes you feel kind of down in the dumps. But now I feel like I'm creative again. My health is back to 100, and now I'm like feeling good. The market seems to be rebounding along with my health. It's all coming around.
You don't think it's a trap?
It's always a trap.
No,
I don't know. No, I don't know. I think as a creator and artist, I think people are still buying and trading art NFTs. So I don't think, while that's all kind of down from where it was, I don't think it doesn't fully correlate to the price of Ethereum or anything. I think stability of like Ethereum staying in this like 1,000 to 1,300 range means people are going to be buying NFTs, and so I think that's a good sign.
I feel like I should be calling my grandfather for financial advice, but he doesn't understand shit about this market. Like I used to call him for all this advice, and I just feel bad I can't call Gramps.
Yeah. Now both of my parents are accountants, and they were like, "We cannot help you at all."
I sent you a message. Check your Twitter. That is the main post. If you could retweet that has all the links for your community to chat and do their thing. Check your Twitter. Brandon, shout out to Canada. Where are you based out of?
I live just north of New York City.
Did you just get married?
No, that was an anniversary of meeting my now wife. We've been married, I think 7 years almost. But we've been together for 13 now.
No one has. But did you die though?
Did I die?
No one died though. So you guys love each other.
Yeah. No, we're doing great. she's downstairs in her office.
Nice.
So you know, she's a packaging designer. She's doing great. And yeah, so
Sweet.
13 years of having a close friend. It's been fun.
I love that. I love that. I can't even go 1 year with a pet, dude. So
Gotta get some cats. Cats are the
the
best.
spiders die, the lizards die, everything just dies.
Oh no.
I'm just joking. It's not dying. It's living, right? Dude, you're on live with the Sensei, 103rd episode. We do this podcast live with cameras. It's all intricate. For those that don't know who Bryan Brinkman is, for the layman, if you've been living under the rock, because I know who this man is. I say his name in my sleep. Who is Bryan Brinkman?
Oh, am I answering that one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, I'm Bryan. I am an NFT artist primarily right now, but I'm also an advisor on a lot of projects. And then in the my background, I've been creating digital animation content and illustration content for like 20 years now. Started back in the Newgrounds days when I was in high school, and went to college for animation. Ended up working in the television industry. On animated television series and commercials and music videos and late night television. For a long time, I worked at The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon and Saturday Night Live.
You did?
Visual effects. Yep. And so those were my jobs for a long time. And then about, I would say 2.5 years ago, I discovered NFTs through this artist, Killer Acid, who I'm a fan and collect. And yeah, I started Super Rare, and then eventually went over to Newgrounds. I did an early art blocks project. I did the first async music project, and so I've just been doing a lot of stuff. I love and then over a year ago, I became a full time in the space, and yeah, it's consumed me in a wonderful way.
I love that. I love that you're not like a nihilist or like cynical to the space, and you kind of let it do. You let it pickle for yourself in the best way.
Yeah, no, I love all this stuff. I'm looking at your screen. You got some Fox fam? I love that project. I got a couple Fox fam.
Fox fam, dude. They made me an honorary Fox, and I was like, dude, I'm going to mint this project.
Oh, I'm jealous. That's awesome.
Yeah, they did Trouble Farmer. Really cool. They should have did you, dude. I'm telling them.
I joined late. I wasn't there at the beginning, but once I saw those like 3D versions they were making, I was like, I gotta get some of these. So I got one with like a Pepe.
Are you a true like, what was it like in your artist journey before Web3? Was it did you get your flowers? Right, you got your flowers.
Well, I was making a living off being creative, but it was kind of in a working on shows. I was doing gallery artwork and like freelance music videos. There's this gallery in LA called Gallery 1988, which does like pop culture artwork. So they'll be like, we're doing a Rick and Morty official art show, and you do a piece of art based on Rick and Morty, or you do like Monty Python or whatever. And I would do these kind of pop culture art shows. I did that for like, I don't know, 6 or 8 years. But it was never something I could make a living off of. It was like just a fun creative expression, and the work would sell and you'd make a couple $100 here and there, but it was like clearly was not enough to like make a living. And so then once kind of Web3, and once I discovered Super Rare and realized there was those galleries in LA, they take 50% cut of every sale. Once I saw Super Rare taking like 15%, I was like, well, this is awesome. One, secondary royalties is awesome. And then two, the fact that I could make animation, because everything I was making back then was like taking my digital art and figuring out how to build it into 3D physical displays or screen prints or these other things, because no one was really ever buying digital art. It was always, how do you turn this into a physical art? And so all those things kind of attracted me immediately. And then also I saw it as like kind of the new Tumblr, where it's like, this is a social circle of artists creating content. I got really into like the Whip meetup back in like early 2020, and then like started doing crypto voxels, and then I just
Whip is Rizzle's thing. No.
Yeah, Matthew and Rizzle.
Wow. We met. I mean, you met Brandon too, in that pubberia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was a big turnout. The Whip community, Rizzle is just such a inspiration. He keeps it straight. He's not a yes man.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm pretty sure you have good people in your corner. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Helping.
No, it's great. I mean, even looking at now, like back then I discovered like Scent, if you remember that blogging platform, which was like kind of a Web3 blogging platform that Matthew from the Whip was a part of. I was making all these articles about my art through there, and then I did his podcast, and 2 years later now, he's my producer on my Nifty Gateway drops. And so like we're still collaborating and talking all the time, and it's really cool to see how like even those early moments have snowballed to the point where I am now, and we're still collaborating.
Bro, I love talking to you just because the artists here in this NFT space are so valuable. You know, look at Poopy, look at Burnt Toast. You can only be proud of these artists making these crazy collections. Are you trying to live in both of those mediums, both of those realms? Where do you want to be in? Do you want to be the 10K PFP guy? Do you want to be the one-on-one artist? What is your stance here? Because you could do it, because you were Bryan Brinkman.
It's something I considered. I was in this position where in January 2021, I did Nimbuds, which was an art blocks project, which was an on-chain generative clouds with faces, and it was all done with JavaScript. And that was a 400 editions. And through that, I got a sense of what happens as an artist when you do a large collection like that, and how quickly you kind of lose control of it. There, I don't want to name names, but there was some collectors that would scoop up the floor and have like a fifth of the supply, and then manipulate the markets very heavily. And so I didn't like how like that became something I couldn't control, especially when I saw collectors be like, well, why is the floor like this? Why is it doing this and this? And it's like, well, I can't do anything anymore. And so that kind of scared me away from doing these like kind of 10K projects. But I'm not against it. I think they're really fun, and there's a lot of interesting ways you can build off that. And I'm not against it in the future, but I think if I was to do one, it would be a smaller supply.
Look at Mark Habibi. He has 1,000 of them.
Yeah, no, I think 1,000's great. I mean, even like X copies grifters, like 666 is a wonderful number. And Coldy did the DIs. So I think there's ways to go about it where you can scratch that itch in a way that holds its value better, and you don't have to, having that scarcity means the art lives on its own, and you don't have to worry about constantly driving gimmicks to raise that floor up and all this other stuff.
Wow. Yeah, that's spoken like a true savant. I mean, I think seeing like doodles and how they're and what they're doing and stuff, and meeting you, I'm a connector. I think this stuff would work. I would love to be a part of it early. What's your viewpoint of whitelists? How would you do it? And then we can get on some other topics.
I've had a lot of thoughts over the years on that. I mean, speaking of doodles, I was very salty about kind of not having access to doodles early on, a project that I wanted to be a part of.
Yeah.
They had a closed Discord. I didn't know how anybody had got into there. And then the mint itself was a crazy gas war, and it immediately was like out of price ranges for the most part. And so, I look at that. I didn't think that was necessarily fair, but in the end, they had those people they gave access to early were diamond hands and really helped the project survive. So it worked in that instance. I don't know. I've always kind of been the allow list idea is a little bit closed, like it's that kind of gatekeeping to a degree. So it's like I feel like if you do that, you should only allow one mint per person. You shouldn't allow this free profit idea, or if you give someone an allow list, there should be some sort of clause that says because they got access to it, especially they can't sell it for X amount of months or something. I think there's a lot of ways that you could go about the process that's a little more fair, that helps the long-term health of a collection. Because most of the time it's being manipulated by these like alpha groups that get access, and they're just pumping and dumping it right away, and no one really cares about the project at all anyways. Or those
really scammy contract backdoor people that can fucking mint hundreds of your shit.
No, it's so hard. I mean, people are like, even when you do like one wallet per address, people have bots that mint on hundreds of separate addresses at once and then consolidate them. And so it's like, it's so hard to get around that. And that's another reason why I'm just like, I think if I was to do a thing, I would be very curated with who I let collect it, and kind of give it to my collectors first, and do these kind of, we're seeing that with a lot of projects anyways, but yeah.
I really want to see an app or something that can measure the strength of someone who diamond hands, because in essence you want to have diamond hands in your community. And I know we're all for like inclusivity and shit, but having an exclusive community that knows how to diamond hand is always just going to benefit your project, because they value your shit and not going to flip it to oblivion.
Yeah, I think one of the trends we saw in this last bull run, which I fell into as well, is this idea that you have to buy 3 of everything, and you buy one to flip immediately, one to flip in a week, and then one to hold long term. Like that in itself destroys projects, because it immediately creates this kind of scalper mentality of like, if you can't get in right away, I'm gonna sell it to you for 3 times as much. And I think that immediately puts everyone in a disadvantage that wants to be a part of the project. And so we're, now this free mint thing, I think, is going too far in the other direction, where these projects that have been spending months building are giving away all of their content for free, and then via, the price starts at 0.001 or something, and then by the time, by the time the project has pumped and had its moment 3 days later, the developers and artists maybe made like 3 ETH in royalties if they're lucky, and that's not sustainable for a project to survive.
Put it back into their own project.
And so I think, I don't know, we're in this weird zone right now where I think it's about reducing the size. 10K is too much right now. It's like go to the 4K, 5K max, and then just sell stuff for like 0.01 or 0.02, so that you at least get some money to fund employees in the discords and all these other things, and then
put the battery in your
building back. Exactly.
It's that whole 10K thing too. I mean, Coinbase really dropped the ball when it was talking about all these partnerships that they were doing, and
yeah.
I feel like the masses, when they do come in here, 10K is still small, but it's a fine line we're walking right now. We want more people to come into NFTs. We're in a fucking bear market. We have to adjust. We have to strategize. We have to come up with new concepts. But I'm like, 10K collections are still small relative to the amount of people that are coming.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can always do 3K as the initial project, build around that, drive value, and then expand into the next thing and make that a 10K. We're starting to see some projects do that, but I think I feel like everyone's still following this bull market roadmaps from like Bored Apes a year ago, when the market is so completely different now. But like whoever's advising a lot of these projects is just looking at past instead of looking at the current present.
Wow. What were you like before we get back into the collect? I could talk about collecting stuff all day. I have some Sega Genesis cartridges.
Yeah, I'm a huge degen. Yeah, I collect video games. I collect records. I'm a big.
I love that. What were you like as a kid? What kind of troubles did you go through in pubescent life? Were you always an artist? Were you a varsity baseball player? What's going on with that whole origin story of Bryan Brinkman?
I was always kind of a geek artist. When I was in middle school and high school, I was making websites. They were like corny, like fan websites for Roller Coaster Tycoon and stuff like that, where it's like
any young kid that was making websites was destined for greatness. I didn't do websites, but everyone I've talked to on the show, I've done a lot of shows, there's a few that did website, like Bitcoinsky, website builder. Like, wow.
Yeah. No, I mean, when I was in high school, I had my own website. I was really into like taking graphic design courses. I thought I was going to be a graphic designer, and then I kind of pivoted right at the end, because I started to realize that like I didn't like the day-to-day job of being a graphic designer. It's very like technical and just like fine-tuning stuff, and I got more excited about the idea of storytelling and filmmaking and animation. But now, as soon as you get out of college, you realize that you become a motion designer, which is a blend of both things. And so then you have all these elements that I learned kind of combining into being what I was able to make a career out of for a long time. But yeah, when I was young, I was playing a lot of video games. I was playing a lot of sports, not competitively, but and then I was working a lot of weird jobs. I was like, so once I was like 15 and I could like work, I was working as many things as I could, whether it was corn detasseling, dirt track concession
You ever worked
stand
at
worker.
Sonics? On the
No,
roller
I never-
skates and fell with the slushies?
I never worked at Sonic. We did have one near me. I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska.
Right.
I worked at Oriental Trading Company, which is like this place that sends out toys to corporations, essentially. And then I worked at a video game company, basically a retail store, like a GameStop type place, but a more local one. But I worked at the corporate headquarters, so I would like drive to all these towns and like restock their used video game supplies and do eBay sales and stuff like that.
Do you have any funny DGen stories? I could only imagine working at GameStop and just either putting someone in a headlock, pranking, or literally just calling out like on the public PA system and fucking ruining everyone's life. Did anything happen in those game businesses that was funny? Any moments that were just fucking stupid and funny?
I mean, there was a lot of boredom, but nothing too crazy. I mean, it was a lot of, we'd take breaks and you play like Smash Brothers or something stupid, or like basketball or something. But yeah, it was more just like fascinating to like discover all these weird, rare video game things that people would buy on eBay, because like you just have this warehouse of just every game imaginable. And so you go, well, this one looks fun, I'm gonna go try that. And so yeah, I probably have too much video game knowledge in my brain, but I still play video games all the time. It's my escape.
Is there any play to earn? Because when I think about video games, we weren't playing to earn, it's just for fun.
Yeah.
Now humans have gotten to this like, not entitlement, but it's like pay me for my time and my attention.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Which I get it. Games, we're gonna have that conversation too, just like artists are having with like, where's the utility, mofo? What do you think about that line of like just playing for fun and playing to earn? Like, I think it'll ruin the whole gaming experience? No,
I think it adds to it. I think what ruins the experience is when bigger corporations come in. So I'm thinking of like 5 years ago, pre-NFT, my NFT world at least, I was playing Dota 2 and Rocket League, which both rewarded you with in-game items that you could trade for fictional currency. And so you win these cool wheels in Rocket League, and then you go into this Rocket League trading app and you'd find other people and you'd like trade up and all this stuff. And so that was like very much the beginning of what I kind of considered to be like this early version of like play to earn. But then when I've seen in the NFT space, a lot of the play to earn is like, it's like work. It's like you're just working to earn, and it's just like doing grindy buttons and quests, and it's not actually fun. I think that's the difference between like Dota and Rocket League, is that they're actually fun to play. And I haven't seen any like play to earn NFT games that are actually like enjoyable, like something I want to sit down and play just for fun. Yeah. Fucking help me with the mobile. I mean, I really like Gods Unchained. I was playing Jennifer Soto in that. I'm getting good. I used to suck at trading card games, but I'm pretty badass, bro. They got a weekend tournament. I talked to Chris Clay from Magic the Gathering on the show. Nice. I'm pretty bad at those games. I mean, I used to play Hearthstone a little bit. Yeah. I'm a big fan of some like tabletop ones. Gosh, I'm spacing on the name. It starts with the Dominion. I'm a big fan of Dominion. But like, yeah, I think those, as much as I enjoy those are so ultra competitive that I just get my butt kicked all the time, and that becomes not fun either. Bro, I'm trying to compete with the best of them, dude. Brandon Beach says, what's your main game right now, Brian? This week, I've been playing Fall Guys now that they add that to Xbox. That's been fun. And is giving you a Mario Party feel? It's or if you go back to early Xbox, it reminds me a lot of Fusion Frenzy. But I think that game's fun. And also, fun fact is the multiplayer engine built into that game is the same one that the Bored Apes other side is using. So there's like some sort of connection there. But they just got bought by Epic. And when I was talking about Rocket League, once Epic bought that, they kind of did away with all the incentive to like earn items by playing, and they made it more of like a battle pass Fortnite situation, and that was when it stopped being fun. So that was what I was kind of alluding to when I said like kind of these bigger
I'm
companies
in
converting
Charlotte,
things.
so Epic is 3 hours from me. So
Nice.
I'm gonna go infiltrate.
I play a lot of Fortnite. I won't lie. Fortnite is just consistently a quality game. But yeah, I'm into short form competitive sports games. So it's like FIFA or like Madden has this mode called KO mode, which is like each side gets one drive essentially, and so it's like short form versions of sports. I'm a fan of that. Like I think NHL has one called Threes, where it's 3-on-3 in like a tinier rink. Like I'm into that kind of arcadey feel.
I love that. Yo, shout out to Saulito. Guys, any questions you have for this fucking legend, keep them coming. It says, Brian, any play to earn that you're looking forward to?
I don't know. The last one I played was Cool Cats, which I played enough to upgrade my egg to a cat, and then I lost the incentive to play.
Was it fun?
No, it was tedious. It was a grind. So I don't know. I'm not hyper aware. I know there's a lot of games on like Solana and stuff, but I'm not very aware of what play to earn games right now.
I could tell you one that you should put on your radar. It's a Missing Watcher, Frontier. I don't know if you heard of Missing Watcher. It's kind of, it has a League of Legends. He's literally partnered with Ubisoft.
Oh.
And Missing Watcher on Twitter. I actually show the. You don't know what Missing Watcher
Frontier.
Is.
Yeah. Okay. I have heard of it. Yeah.
It's gonna be big. It's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be fun. He's more focused on the fun aspect. He has these membership passes right now and avatar aspects.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I've seen some of these previews. It does look good, and I'm a big fan of Ubisoft. I'm curious. I know they just did that Ghost Recon Rarible.
How did that go? You know,
I don't have that game, so I don't know. But I heard you have to like play a decent amount to get to the point where you can use it, and basically it's just a gun that has the number of the NFT written on the side of it, I think. So it's not quite there, but Ubisoft, I mean, their whole games are like play to earn already. You're just earning all this loot boxes and other stuff. I really enjoyed like Division and the Assassin's Creed, and so I think they're already I know they're working towards that, and I feel like their games already have that kind of incentive built into it already. So it'll be curious to see how that grows.
Yeah, Missing Watcher has a lot of cool, fun complexities to his game, and I think it's gonna be an over-the-top style game. League of Legends. Never played League of Legends. Do you have any tips for someone has never played that's trying to play to earn and Missing Watcher? Like, what the fuck to do?
I don't know. Well, like I said, League of Legends is pretty identical to Dota, the one I mentioned before. So they're that lane-based strategy. I'm not good at any of that stuff, but I'm sure it's like the strategy is like pick a character you like and master that one type of character, because it's like each one has a strength and you just have to like learn that player's perks usually.
I love that for us. Someone said, yo, here for the Gen Art NFT Alpha. We're going to get to that generative art NFT Alpha. Don't worry. We're on the gaming topic. This is a podcast. You got to go topic by topic. But shout out to you, Kenza, for being here. Brandon B said, Brian, you ever play MMORPGs?
Not really. I've been tempted to try that Elden Ring.
Conquering?
I guess Elden Ring isn't MMO. It's, I guess, what would be the
just RPG?
Elder Scrolls Online is the MMORPG, I think. I don't know. I found them kind of boring. I don't like games that never end to a degree, unless it's like short form, like competitive.
What about games that never end, like the Metaverse? I mean, you're going to be a Metaverse character, right?
Well, the Metaverse is going to be a bunch of small games within it. And so, I think the Metaverse is interesting. As a creator, I'm more of a believer that it's better to build content that's interoperable between metaverses. So it's like, as a collector, like I'm out buying GLB sculpture NFTs more than I'm buying land in metaverses, because those sculptures will work in all of these worlds going forward. But which of those lands succeed is completely arbitrary and like out of my control.
Yeah, I feel like Epic Games naturally is just gonna win. Like they're just gonna be the Metaverse to be, or even Rockstar with GTA 6.
Yeah. No, I think I mean GTA is the clunkiest multiplayer experience I've ever dealt with. But I do love those games, and Red Dead Online was still fun too. But yeah,
Do you think that NFTs and PFPs will just have to integrate with Epic?
I don't know. I think there's some interesting things out there, like the Akutars, Micah Johnson's Akuverse stuff. Like those are built in Unreal, so if they wanted to, they could be interoperable in whatever Epic builds going forward. And I think that's kind of a smart way to go about, like, if you're going to do like a 3D PFP project right now, it's like build that stuff to be, you know, forward thinking in how it's going to work, because then you don't have to, like we talked about FoxFam earlier, like they're right now building their 3D stuff, but they could, you know, are they building that as just a 3D co-render, or are they building that as a what do they call it, a VR?
I would hope that
character
Beth from FoxFam, she's super smart, she knows.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, they look awesome. That's why I keep buying more.
I love that. I love that you have that conviction for FoxFam, because it was such a good call for the dojo, and there's so many other calls like that. There's so many PFPs that are not doing what they're doing. Like Mars Cats, or like even Mad Cat Militia, or even all these like weird early day ones, even like Bulls on the Block. I'm like, you really got to choose them right.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you have Ape Reunion there. I had two or three of those, and I think I've sold them all, but I did like the style.
They got a really cool game coming out, dude. I'm telling you.
Oh, do they?
They got a on-chain pets coming, lower half, fully on-chain, the pets. Developer is a full stack developer, 3-person team. They're growing and expanding. Pixel art is beautiful, but there's gonna be a game where you walk around with your apes and kind of just chat. It's like everyone's trying that aspect, but no one. We just want to have fun. So I've been telling Ape Reunion, make this shit fun. People just want to engage and have fun with their friends as apes, and you know, and not everyone can afford a Bored Ape.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a Bored Ape?
I do.
Shit.
But I got lucky, and
Legend.
I bought one the day the project sold out for 0.1. So I'm in that like very rare diamond hands from the beginning spot.
Wow, I love that, dude. What is the apes vibe like when in New York? Did you vibe? Everything was like serendipitous. Is that the right word? Not.
Yeah. Well, I think I saw you the same day I went to the Ape Fest later on, which I had a great time. Though in retrospect, I was not feeling great because I had COVID. But I thought I was just burnt out from the week. Yeah, no, I think the vibe's cool. I've always felt like PFPs are like I went to art school, so I didn't have these, but they're like the fraternities for adults now, or like for people post college. Whereas like you have a Bored Ape, and then someone throws a Bored Ape meetup in the city, you all go, and you can all talk and network and.
Why can't we do that around lasagna or some shit? You know?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different meetups, but I feel like we're seeing that, you know, there's Moonbirds meetups, there's Ape meetups, like there's all these little pockets of communities, and they become these little networking worlds where you connect with other collectors and artists and stuff like that. And so I've always felt like that is a fun vibe of it. There's certainly a lot of people. When you have 10,000 people in a community, there's going to be plenty of people that are kind of jerks or like egomaniacs. But I've always found that at least the apes that I've met in real life are often pretty chill people.
Have you met Metamori? He's a chiller. The blue ape.
I don't think I have.
Oh, he's a vibe. The Kenza says, which is more likely, Meta buys other side IP or other side takes over Metaverse? I'll say that again. Meta buys other side IP or other side takes over Meta?
I feel like Meta.
What up, Orphan?
I think Meta might go after some other world, whether it's like Sandbox or Decentraland, and try and like integrate into something that fits more in their style. I feel like, I don't know, they're so in love with their own product that I don't see them just like going and grabbing this other thing entirely. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what their ambitions are. I feel like based on how things have gone so far, they might be kind of backing away from the metaverse right now. I feel like their stockholders probably aren't happy with that shift.
Yeah, for real. You're gonna have to have like Apple glasses come out and a drastic, drastic consumerism shift, just for them to be like, oh, gaming. You know, even though gaming has its own, it's rallying. Like
Well, that's the interesting thing is like Meta has Oculus, so they're betting on VR, but Apple's going to do this AR thing and it's going to splinter it. And so if I was them, I'm sure they're building for both use cases technically. But it's going to be interesting to watch. I'm curious.
I think AR has to come first. I know everyone likes VR, but I'm betting on AR is our primitive stage to then better VR experiences to then just fucking immersion.
I think it'll be some sort of hybrid where it'll be, you know, pass through VR or AR that has, you know, translucent glass that you can either go full screen or AR.
You've been thinking about this, Bryan Brinkman.
I'm a believer that that's going to be the next phase. I mean, since I joined the space, I've always kind of seen NFTs as we're creating assets for the future AR world we're going to live in, whether it's, you know, all these images that we've physicals of, we're just going to have augmented sculptures and artwork all over our walls.
Yeah, someone said that it was the Nelk podcast. It says if a digital chick comes into your virtual mansion and you have a Bored Ape on the wall, she's instantly gonna just like make out with you or some shit.
A virtual girl
or e-girl, whatever. Orphans Addict says, "What up, gang? Smash that like button, nerds." Yes, smash that like button, nerds. For real. APO. Alpha plays only. Also, this is a sound for everyone.
It's a fucking APO cherry stealing Granny's credit card for ass play movie.
Absolutely. Stealing Granny's credit card for ass play movie. T Hacker, Sup Dojo. Crypto Crayon says Bryan is spot on. Bryan is always spot on. Crypto Crayons. You know Crypto Crayons?
I'm not sure. Okay. I remember the Crypto Crayons, but I don't know if we've actually met.
T Hacker says that's why I don't date e-girls anymore. Yes, they all they want is expensive PFPs and shit posters.
I remember the crayons were in crypto voxels, right?
Oh yeah. APO, love it. Alpha plays only the Kenza. Yo, smash the like button, nerds, and friends, and ninjas. What the world? Well, I wanted to ask you, still on the metaverse topic. I had something I wanted to ask you. How is Bryan Brinkman ready for the metaverse? Are you just doing the Sotheby's, the virtual Christie's auctions? What does your metaverse look like?
Yes, like I kind of talked about a little bit earlier, where I'm all about building content for it. So like a project I did a month or two ago was with Artifacts, which you might have saw if you went to like the NFTC event at NFT NYC. But it's Roger Dickerman is making a collection of 100 artists, and they each make a one of one piece, and then an edition of 100 GLB sculptures. And we collaborate with Dirk at work, the guy who did the Aku 3D models and stuff like that. He's an awesome 3D artist. And then they also have a whole team that we built an Unreal Engine experience on their website that you can go to and kind of walk around. And it's this like fun house / recreation of the 1960s World Fair. And so I'm a big believer that like getting content that you can put sculptures into like your on Cybers or your Decentraland and all that. So doing that, I'm working on a collaboration right now that'll hopefully come out in the next month or two. That's like,
you're telling me I can have a Bryan Brinkman sculpture in the dojo?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I think they're all on secondary. If you look up Artifacts, which is ARTIFEX. But I'm also, you know, I love on Cyber. I love crypto voxels. I'm always building galleries and experiences and whatever I can. I did a rare rooms for a Nifty Gateway drop. I'm you know, and same with like digital fashion. I just did a drop with Genies. I've done drops on Decentraland, crypto voxels, and Digital X. So I'm you know, I'm trying it all. I don't know which one will survive, but it's all fun to experiment. And it's the same way with, like, I was talking about, like, platforms I've dropped on, whether it's like async music or art blocks. Those are the ones that I think succeeded. There's plenty of ones I've dropped on that might not have succeeded as much, but you know, you have to take those risks and you have to just like play around with the technology and see what sticks, because there's just, you know, a million different canvases you can create on in this space.
So it seems to me you're tinkering in the floppy disk phase of Web3.
Yeah.
And when they give us email, you're just gonna run.
I'm excited about that. Yeah. No, I think, I think there's just, I don't know, there's so many different ways and like so many genres that haven't been figured out yet, like music. Like I did async music, which I thought was an interesting way of giving ownership and customizing ability to the owners of music. But I don't know if that's like the best method. That's kind of more of a niche experiment than a Spotify killer, you know what I mean? So I think there's still a lot of ways that people can create with all these genres that haven't yet, you know, everyone likes to follow successful paths like the Bored Apes or art blocks or whatever, but like there's so many roads that haven't been traveled yet. So I'm excited to see what people keep making.
For sure. Crypto Cran says augmented reality metaverse would be adopted on a larger scale than virtual reality metaverse shown in Ready Player One. Just a hot take. Appreciate your hot take, Crypto Crans. Miami's giving fucking.
I think you're right.
Hands.
People like to know their surroundings. I think there's a vulnerability to pure VR that a lot of people are afraid of, and I don't blame them. You can't, you know, you're stuck. You're kind of sedentary, and when you're in VR, you're just kind of stuck in a bubble. With the AR, you could be doing cool AR stuff while you're walking around New York City, you know?
Yeah. What's your hot take on Elon Musk? He's been fucking up a lot lately, backing out of Twitter. I think his kids don't like him or something like that. I heard in an article. What do you think about Elon Musk right now?
He's got a lot of kids. He's got, what, 9 kids
like
now?
13 kids.
I don't know. I think
he should have fucking bought Twitter. You fucking
He's
jackass.
a great marketer, but a lot of the things he gets you hyped on never come to reality, whether it's these like awesome tunnel ideas or
submarines.
I mean, he built a good tunnel digging machine, but he hasn't really built anything cool that goes in the tunnels yet. And yeah, I think the Teslas appeal to me because they have a giant touch screen that you can distract yourself with.
Yeah, you just put your fucking Bored Ape on it.
Yeah, but I don't have a Tesla. There's a Tesla dealership down the road for me, so I see them all over. But no, I think, and like I thought he had this like idea for solar panel roof shingles.
Yeah, all these ideas just don't come in. I
There's a
think
brilliant idea, but then he didn't have a solid way for it to store the energy yet. And so it's like all these ideas that are kind of half ideas that don't fully, but you know, I'm a big fan of ideas, but it seems like as a person, he's kind of a strange guy.
He's perfect for he's perfect for this bear. He's perfect for this free mint meta going on right now.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, he, about a year ago, he was very powerful in terms of manipulating the market, whether it was NFTs or crypto or whatever. Yeah. And no one should have that much power in my mind.
As soon as Elon Musk said on Saturday Night Live, Doge is a hustle, we should have fucking got out the top.
I know. I did not work on that episode. It was a weird episode. But yeah, I think that the Doge thing, I never bought into Doge. I always thought it was funny, but maybe I'm wrong here. I know memes are like a part of the culture, but coming from a comedy world, I'm a believer that jokes don't last long. And we can see that with like the Kevins or whatever of this space. Like they have a very short shelf life because unless it's like maybe like, with the exception of maybe like Pepe or Crypto Dick Butt, there's a very short attention span for funny jokes. And so even though I have a background in comedy, I do a comedy show on a regular basis in Brooklyn where I draw live to stand-up comedy. Like that's all stuff that's in the moment funny. And I don't want that like recorded. I don't want it minted. The art will stand the test of time because you're talking about your personal experiences and the society and technology. but jokes are throwaways in my mind.
Great point, Brian. Crypto Cran says Sensei is OG. Also, has Brian built in Sensorium Galaxy yet?
I haven't. I don't know about that one.
What is
I'll have to check it out.
Sensorium Galaxy? You're gonna have to hit me.
Is that
up
like
with
Somnium?
Yeah, this is Sensorium. I don't know what is
Yeah.
that. You just made that word up, dude. Saul says laughing my ass off to the Elon thing. I wanted to ask you, what is some alpha that you have coming up with Bryan Brinkman? Like anything in the horizon? Anything you're trying? Any futuristic ideas?
That's a good question.
Kinda
Yeah,
hinted
well, like
at
I
it
said,
with the Metaverse.
I'm doing a collaboration with an AR thing. Hopefully that'll come about. And yeah, I think that I'm always kind of coming up with little projects here and there. I try not to think too big. My fear in this space has always been I don't want to accidentally go from being an artist to a company. I want to maintain that kind of independent artist lifestyle. I don't want to be responsible for like teams of people working under me, because like where I can be a successful creative, I don't know if I can be a successful manager and business owner. So that holds me back from doing these like $1 million drops or something like that. So I think
you don't want A16Z calling you all the time.
yeah, no, it's I don't mind being an advisor on that kind of stuff, but I don't want to be at the top of the chain. And so, yeah, I think in terms of alpha on my own stuff, I have a drop coming up in the next few weeks for a Nifty Gateway auction. I'm working on a lot of projects that may never come to be, another Art Blocks project. Sometimes you work on things and they just kind of linger forever. And then sometimes you make stuff and it comes out really quickly and you feel excited. And so I'm always of the mindset that if I work on something too long, I get bored of it. And then the likelihood that I release it gets lower with every day.
For real. You know, we're in such a weird time, even in the recession of the US. You know, they're talking about quantitative tightening happening in September, and a lot of this liquidity is going to be sucked back out. I hope ETH stands the test of time and we don't go into full apocalypse mode. But I honestly, collectibles hold well in any market. So
yeah,
is that your philosophy?
Art holds better than collectibles in a lot of ways. And I think I've always had the mindset that, you know, if I buy art directly from artists, I'm funding my own chances of success because I'm giving them the money to keep creating and growing. And so I've always felt like that is the way to go. The percentages of how many of those people will grow to be huge is small. But if you look at the people that were betting on early super rare artists 4 years ago, it's like Xcopy, Coldy, Sarah Zucker, like those small bets. Yeah, those small bets ended up growing big. And it's not like they all hit 100%, but if you support enough artists, a few of them will grow and flourish into legitimate big artists. And I think that's my long-term bet. And then in the short term, I'll play some of these PFP games to try and get liquidity, but I feel like that game is getting harder and harder to win. And so I've gotten kind of bored of it.
I mean, you're
recently.
in the same realm to me of X copies and all these other people, Joy World and all that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Joy is awesome. I heard he was in New York. I didn't get to meet him. I'm so jealous. He's such an awesome dude.
Was New York fun for you? NFT
Yeah, it was. It was a marathon, but it was really, it was rewarding because a lot of times I'm stuck in this room and I experience Twitter feeds and you have this idea, like this competitive attitude of like, am I keeping up with the space? What's my standing? What's my value? And like, that's all fed by, you know, OpenSea floors and Twitter and all this. And so when you go in real life and you see your artwork on displays, whether it's a 3-story high screen at Art Blocks or an HD screen at the Super Rare Gallery, it's kind of validating in a way that goes, okay, well, actually what I've been doing is successful in that it's put me in this place that I wasn't at necessarily. So
Let's fucking go.
So I felt like that was reaffirming in a lot of ways. And I was, I was nominated, this little thing here, the NFT 100 awards, which were that week.
Bro,
and that was cool.
You're on NFT 100?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me pause this real quick. I gotta give you the sheesh of sheesh.
Thank you.
Wow, that's iconic.
So yeah, no, I thought it was great. There was definitely a wear out, because there were certain days where I was jumping from like 8 parties in a day, like a half hour here and then go over the next one, a half hour there, and it was just like a bit of a wear out. But it's probably also why I got sick, because I was like giving hugs and shaking hands with hundreds of people. But I think that's like the rewarding part. Like, even though that week is work, to me it's a vacation from the actual work, where like that's like the celebrating vacation.
I love that. The NFT 100 awards was great. I think they chose them right. G-Funk, Gossamer, you. I would like to think I'm on the 300, because I've been doing podcasts and live streams for like 3 years now. I just don't get noticed, but it is what it is.
It was a fun event, and it was interesting because it was on the top floor of the office I worked at for like the last decade, because I worked at 30 Rock, and it was at the top of the rock or whatever. So
you met Tina Fey?
No, I don't think I've met Tina Fey in the past. I've probably seen her at an after party or something.
I
I've
love
never
her
spoken.
so much.
Yeah, she's great. All of her shows are so good.
Well, is there any NFT alpha right now you're noticing in the bear market? You said Fox Fam. Any APO alpha plays only you can give the thirsty chat?
I'm a big believer in my buddy Dave Krugman's recent drop called Drip Drop. It's a collaboration with Transient Labs, and it's basically 1,000 pictures of water droplet ponds in the street of Times Square. And so it's like these photos of like thousands of raindrops and making circular drops. And then they used AI to track all of these and give them rarities based on the photography. And so I think that's one I've been watching. I minted a bunch. I've been buying some on secondary. I think I got like 5 now. But like every day the price just goes up by like 0.02, because it's just consistently getting a little bit more and more.
Can you link that in the chat or something?
Yeah.
Is that an OpenSea link?
It's on OpenSea, yeah.
I would love to see that.
Let's see if I can find it. There
Because
it
this
is.
is coming from you, Bryan Brinkman, man. This is your alpha, so.
There you go. Put in the YouTube chat. I love that project. I'm more into like projects in that like 1,000 range. Osinachi, if you know his work, he did a drop called Across the Face. That you could, if you went, did you go to the Super Rare Gallery during NFT NYC?
No.
Okay. He had a piece there. I'll put that in here. Like, that's another one. It's 1,000 of them. But like, if you look at like how many people are selling, it's like 26 people listed out of 1,000. So it's like, he's an OG artist. He's been in Christie's and Sotheby's, Super Rare, in Nifty Gateway, all that stuff. This was an async blueprints drop, but it was the first one that was a collaboration with Super Rare. And so it's technically the only PFP on Super Rare. And so I think that
those 2 links to my Twitter, because I think the stream just eats links.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you. I'll DM you.
Yeah.
So I think both of those are like what I would consider a blend between art and PFP, but it's like they're both artists that I think will continue to grow even bigger over time. So I put that in the same realm as like the Grifters by Xcopy.
This is alpha as fuck. Check it out, chat. There you go. That's the OpenSea Across the Face. You said Super Rare's first PFP, technically?
Technically, it was a collaboration between them and Async. And so it kind of minted on Async and then immediately got listed and put onto Super Rare.
Whoa. And then there's this other one.
So, those are 2 that I'm like pretty heavy into. And then I don't know. There's some weird ones coming out in the next, like tomorrow. There's one called Saudis that everyone's talking about that I'm gonna try and mint, but I think it's kind of a goofy project.
Is it a
it's
PFP or is it art?
It's crypto. It's CryptoPunks, but with these like Saudi Arabian like headband head.
Oh, then that might do good. Yeah. I think like a year ago something like that did good too.
Yeah,
it pumped. Yeah, something like that pumped.
It's got a crazy Discord. It's I don't know. I'm hoping I'm on the allow list, so I'm hoping I can mint it, but I feel like it might mint out immediately. So we'll see how that goes. But that's like one of those things where it's like you don't see a lot of projects right now like have sustained hype. Everything's just kind of like, oh, there's this new thing today, we're gonna mint that and make that hype. But like you don't see a lot of things like gather hype for a week straight. So I don't know. Another let's see what other alpha. I don't know. There's one called first NFT. A few collectors have told me that that's an interesting one because it's this generative artist named Def Beef. It was like his 5K project that he did as a joke, and it's like all these things that say. It looks like loot, yeah. But Def Beef is like one of the top generative artists in the space. Like his regular collection is like a floor of 75 ETH. So I think there's some, the hope is that there'll be some correlation where it's like if people want exposure to him, kind of like grifters, they'll like move over to this. So I don't know if that's alpha or just hoping.
Opium long-term play, most likely tonight.
Yeah,
for sure, dude. I had a great time talking to you, man.
This was a blast.
Like
and yeah, it was fun. And the chat was fun too.
The chat is fucking degenerate nerds, bro. They love nerding out and they love alpha too. Let's fucking go, Akai. Let's go. That's you, Akai. I didn't know that was you, dude. I would say Ape Reunion is slept on, and I'm trying to hold that floor. I have 100 of them motherfuckers. They were
you have 100? Holy moly!
They were a free mint, and I sold my cool cat for the shit because I believe in this shit that much. So I stole my cool cat for like 6. And I aped in. Keep them on your radar. Follow Ape Reunion. I believe they're gonna do great. I'm in God's hates NFTs. Like I really like their Twitter Spaces with DJ and Preacher. He's like a weird, funny, fucking redneck dude. But
I kind of made fun of him on Twitter, so they might not like me anymore.
You did?
Yeah. Well,
legendary.
It makes me uncomfortable that they're like totally stealing Rick and Morty art. Yeah. So I think they could have. I mean, I think they're doing funny stuff with like giveaways and memes and all this stuff, but I think that's gonna put a cap on their potential, because if there's no way they'll become a Bored Apes because they will get taken down by DCMA.
What do you think about the DCMA thing of what Ryder Rips and Jason? What is this, Jason Klein? And that shit is interesting too.
I think Funks was clever. I think they built a phony art idea around it that protected them as parody. But I think with the Bored Apes, when they just directly stole it, that was too far, and now they're getting punished.
Yeah,
you gotta have a twist. You gotta have a parody. I mean, that goes back to the comedy. It's like you can make a joke about something as parody if you change X amount of it.
I think
it's like if I want to draw Mickey Mouse, look at like Matt Gondek, for instance, this awesome artist that does like Donald Duck and Mickey and all this stuff, but he like rips off half their face because legally you have to change like 30% of a piece of art for it to not be stolen.
Yep. He's making the argument that he's not stealing the art, he's taking a URL token ID IPFS. So.
Yeah, he's gonna lose. he's in trouble. I mean, that they got some pretty good lawyers going against him. I don't know. I think he played it too hard. I think when he defamed the Bored Apes and tried to make them into this like racist conspiracy, that was a bridge way too far. And I think that was when people gave up on supporting his thesis on parody.
It's an interesting space, that's for sure. Bryan, what you got planned this weekend, man? Anything fun? Touch grass?
It's a good question. Probably just work on some art. That's maybe go for a walk. Probably watch the new episode finale of The Boys. I don't know if you've watched
The
that
Boys.
show. The finale's tonight. So
season 1 and 2.
Oh.
Going on season 3 now.
Season 3 is good, man. It's really good.
Damn. Homelander is fucking weird.
It gets weirder. His season, it's over the top.
When
It's
I
good
saw
stuff.
breast milk, I was like, this is a fucking weird ass show.
Yeah. No, it's pretty incredible. I'm excited to wrap that one up. So yeah, do that. Probably watch some movies.
Awesome. Dude,
It'll be chill.
this is the part of the stream where I give every guest the gong. I give Maddie DC a blogger the gong. The bunch of fuck render, a bunch of people the gong. The gong is the truth. So when you hear the gong, you have to speak the truth. Okay, the gong is a great frequency in the dojo. Whatever your truth may be, you can marry a mistress. You can say you love pineapple on pizza. Whatever the fuck you want to do. Here is the gong. I don't know if you heard that.
I didn't hear it, but my truth is support art. That's what's going to last long term. PFPs are fun short term, and the communities are great. But I'm a true believer that art is the only long term truth.
Art is the only long-term truth. I mean, we're still fucking looking at artifacts from Rome and Africa, and it is the truth. It is the language unsung. So
It becomes the storytelling too.
Keeps it.
It changes the history.
Dude, Bryan, I gotta have you on the show again. I
This
really
was great.
appreciate your time, and this was a blast.
Thanks for having me.
Guys, make sure you go follow at Bryan Brinkman right there. You see it. Give him a follow. Stay in touch. Hit the Noti bell. Noti gang only. You know the drill. Live the dream. Eat ice cream. And above all, stay content. Later, homies. Peace. We're out of here.